Okay, okay, sir. Yeah, it's streaming, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming to screen.
Good afternoon, students. So we have seen the introductory session of managing self and others, the anatomy of self. I think we have the next session today, that is self-awareness. It is also very interesting sessions, self-awareness. So sir was going to deliver a lecture on self-awareness concept. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Upendra. I once again thank for the opportunity given to me to interact this evening with our student friends, and I also invite all the friends who are watching YouTube live stream. And again, I repeat that this is the session focused to the final year MBA students of the Hindu College, Machilipatnam Postgraduate Center, Department of MBA, affiliated to Krishna University. And we are, discussing on these master classes are mostly planned for MBA program. And this is the second master class. The subject being self awareness, understanding the key to personal and professional growth. The actual paper is understanding self and understanding others. I mean, leading others, managing self and leading others. So it's absolutely two-way process when we would like to coordinate. You should be in a position to understand yourself, and also you should be in a position to understand others as such. So we have just introduced the first master class is on introducing the concepts of managing self and leading others. Today we focus on unit one in particular in detail. That's on self-awareness. So the very basic question, of course, sometimes you may take it as a funny question that do you know yourself? Knowing thyself. So it looks funny to answer this question, but you should be brutally honest in order to know yourself. That's the first starting point, and it's a key to personal and professional growth. See the slide on self awareness picture
Sir,
flashed
sir,
on screen.
sir, slide is not visible, sir. Okay.
Not visible?
Uh, Add to the stage, sir.
One
Add
minute, one
slide to
minute.
the stage.
No?
Yeah, sir. It's yeah visible, sir.
Oh, okay. Sorry that. Sorry, friends, for the little inconvenience. This is what is all about self-awareness. The discussion is all about self-awareness, and the question may be knowing thyself. Do you know yourself? May be funny, but there is a lot of sense in asking ourselves or knowing ourselves about our, better half and also the worst half, or whatever you feel like. So let's examine this kind of concept like understanding the key to personal and professional growth is your self awareness. See here in the picture on the right side of the things self awareness. A cat is standing before a mirror. See, it is looking at the mirror, and the face of the cat is appearing to be a lion. It goes without saying that the cat is overestimating itself, or it can be reversed also. A lion sitting before the mirror and looking at the mirror, she sees an image, a face of a cat, meaning that the lion is undermining itself. It can be over evaluation or underestimation. So these things do happen normally. This is a representative picture to talk in terms of analyzing one's own self. Are you ready then? And what is self awareness, by the way? Self awareness is the conscious knowledge of one's character, feelings, motives, and desires. As I've already told you, and I repeatedly be telling you again and again and again, that you should be brutally honest to analyze ourselves. Because after all, the score belongs to you. But what happens normally is we have an over anxiety to rate others this way, that way, and all that. But okay, that's one aspect of it. You may be right or wrong in analyzing others and all. That's another aspect of it. We come back to that little later. But our focus of attention today in discussion is on self awareness. So it involves being aware of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors and understandings as such, how they influence your actions and interactions with others. So self awareness is said to be a very critical component, mind it, for emotional intelligence and personal growth. You should know, understand yourself, where you stand on your thought process, on your emotional orientation, on your behavior modes, and all that. Understanding these things in detail help us to navigate our lives with an intention, with a particular intention and insight. What is our intention? A conflict free environment, positioning ourselves clearly, honestly before others, trying to understand others, invite them to our fold so that we can have a conflict free environment. So, do you have that kind of an insight to answer yourself by analyzing yourself? Let's see. What are the components of self awareness? Of course, we can say talk much about this concept called self awareness. Let's go in deeper into the concept of a very clear understanding of what is what. First one is emotional awareness. This emotional awareness refers to the ability to recognize and understand your emotions as well as their impact on your thoughts and behaviors. For example, you have when your anger coefficient is high. For example, that means you experience anger and maybe a short-tempered behavior. Do you know that what is the impact of this on your thought process, on your actions, and on your behaviors? Please be conscious of. Oh, getting angry is a natural process, but then high anger coefficient, which is impacting your thoughts and behaviors, is a point for clear examination and analysis. So, emotional awareness helps individuals to identify how feelings such as anger, joy, sadness, or anxiety can influence their decisions and interactions. So you need to manage. For example, you may experience anxiety neurosis when you are taking up a test or an examination. Mind it, this may impact your test scores and the way in which you take the exam and answer it. So if you know precisely understand the problem, better manage your anxiety levels so that that cannot in any way disturb your decision making exercise or whatever it is, and your interactions, etc. Let's take an example. When feeling stressed, a self-aware person can recognize this emotion. Yeah, I'm stressed, I'm stressful here, something going wrong and all, and understand that it may lead to irritability in their interactions with colleagues. Absolutely right. By acknowledging their stress, they can take steps to manage it, such as taking a break or practicing mindfulness. Okay, you can just postpone your decision making by 10-15 minutes. Calm down for a while, provided that you scan yourself honestly. Because if you do not have a complete awareness of being stressed, you get into a problem trap. A person with self awareness of this can do better. Think of it. So, next question would be, do you self reflect? Many a time I tell you that we will be, most of the time, we will be trying to evaluate others but fail to understand ourselves. So self-reflection for every action you have to self-reflect. Is it okay or not, or whatever it is? So self-reflection involves evaluating one's beliefs, values, and actions. Of course, you may have your own belief, nothing wrong in it. You have your own value system, nothing wrong in it. But then, is this set of beliefs, values, and actions impacting your relationships and your decision making exercises? It's about taking some time to think critically about your experiences earlier, the motivations, and the consequences of your actions. And this helps us to understand to go for a change if needed on your belief system and on your value system and on your action orientations as such. Just think about it. Engaging in self reflection allows individuals to identify patterns in their behavior and assess whether they align with their values and goals. That's where self reflection helps you a lot, my dear friends. Let's take an example. After a challenging conversation with a colleague, yeah, you get into a very a challenging conversation with the colleague. So what happens next? Assume that what happens next. Do you go to do some sort of a homework on what has happened on this? Because it is a challenge. It's a non-normal conversation. It's a challenging conversation as such. A self-reflective individual might consider whether the approach was respectful and effective. Is this okay for me? So you need to ask yourself questions like, did I listen actively? Did I talk in a meaningful sentence? Did I communicate my points clearly? So this homework or this kind of a reflection can lead to sophisticated crafting of your conversations. And mind you that this kind of homework can improve your future interactions and your crafting ability of conscious conversations, mind it. That's an example of a self-reflection. Let's take a real life example. Consider a manager who tends to micromanage their team, always looks into every detail of the members of the team. Initially, this may not be recognized, but how their behavior affects their team members, motivation and morale. But however, through self-awareness, yes, you can examine. So, am I doing the right thing or not? So, recognition. The manager begins to notice that their team appears disengaged and less innovative. Problem has started. Mind it. This is a signal. Recognize that. This happens only when you go for reflecting on the problem there and your role there. So, for example, they might receive feedback from the team members expressing frustration about feeling suffocated by constant oversight. Clear, because they are suffocated because of your micromanagement. Now, because of this, having recognized that a low morale of the team members, you need to understand the impact. What happens afterwards? The aftermath of this kind of disengaged members of the team and demotivated and all that, then it costs the productivity. So as the manager reflects on their behavior, I mean, his behavior, he realizes that their tendency to micromanage, his tendency to micromanage stems from fear of failure and a desire for control. See, why I am trying to micromanage? Because maybe a fear of failure, that if I don't manage, my team may not perform well, so I fail and all that before my bosses. And also, or you may have a strong desire for control. Okay, having the desire for control is fine, but if you do this micromanagement, see the consequences coming up. They are very much disgusted, disengaged, and frustrated, and the morale is coming to the lowest ebb and all that. So, with this analysis and self reflection, you can make adjustments. Am I clear? With this awareness, the manager decides to adopt a more empowering leadership style, helping them, coordinating them, engaging in open communication, and more innovative suggestions that you can give, support them instead of micromanagement. So, this kind of approach will boost the team morale and motivation. Only these things happening because of the fact that you self reflect on your past experience. Now, what's all about self awareness? In short, what we can say that it's very essential that allows individuals to understand their motivations and behaviors leading to personal and professional growth. And it enhances emotional awareness and engaging in self reflection. Individuals can improve their interactions very well, and they can navigate their environments very well, and they can create a positive impact in every environment they navigate. And the example of the manager, what we have discussed just now, and on recognizing and understanding one's own tendencies clearly can lead to meaningful change and improved relationships within the team. Mind it. So then, okay, fine. We have seen getting along with the situation, members of the team with self-reflection could be fine. Yes. Then why have self-awareness? Let's go into the details of it now. Self awareness is a very critical component, you know that, for personal development, success story. The first important aspect, what we need to focus on, is enhanced emotional intelligence. The self awareness enables individuals to recognize and understand their emotions, and it will have this knowledge of recognition and knowledge about or understanding of your own emotions, and your ability to identify your feelings. Definitely you're better placed in managing people. This actually asks you to refine situations many a time, because you are on self reflection and you're studying the impacts on relationships. So that's very interesting. So empathy towards others' feelings. Are you there to have some self-awareness? That are you sure that you're empathizing with others by understanding their own emotional responses on your actions? They can relate the feelings of the those around them. Very important here. So this also helps you to go in for establishing an improved collaboration and communication, as a matter of fact, by empathetic behaviors. Say, for example, a team member who is attuned to the stress of a colleague can offer assistance, promoting a more harmonious work environment. You should be in a position to scan the environment and understand the other's feelings. Then you can be in a position to clearly understand and step into a proactive behavior where you can help the team members. And not only that, self-awareness helps individuals to recognize their core values and beliefs, as a matter of fact. And all sometimes you have a mental discomfort here and there, in yourself as well as in others as well. So when you recognize these things, yes, there can be a chance for better decision making minded. For example, a marketing professional who values honesty might choose not to use misleading tactics in campaigns, which can enhance their integrity and reputation. When you are conversing with the prospective customers, so no misleading tactics in campaigning as such, no bullying. Make an honest attempt of finishing a deal there. And these kind of self reflections and understanding scenarios will also help you to go for informed decision making as such, because you will almost avoid impulsive decisions and go for rational decision making exercises, provided that you have an idea. clearly understand the scenarios. And one more thing is you have an increased confidence levels if you recognize your strengths and weaknesses, as a matter of fact. And you have a lot of confidence in understanding the capabilities of yourself and others also. So that's where the self-awareness helps a lot for you, mind it. And it is needless to say now, after all this, there is definitely an improved performance. You are able to set realistic goals for yourself and for others, and there is a chance of increased accountability of self. And although you can make an attempt to increase the accountability of your colleagues and your members of the team as such. Let's take another real life example. Consider an employee who understands their strengths in communication. This self awareness leads to several positive outcomes. Definitely, it is. You or he or she can be able to make effective presentations because the employee confidently represents their ideas in the team meetings, as a matter of fact, using their communication strengths to articulate complex concepts very clearly. You should know, you have to go for a personal audit that yes, this is the possibility. So an employee who considers who understands that their strength in communication can be a better presenter. Now, the what are the successful project outcomes, or what are the advantages in career advancement? See, if you are sure enough in the process of evaluating yourself, there are chances of increasing ability to convey information effectively, ensuring that the entire team is aligned because your communicative effectiveness is just good enough. You're totally good in. So this kind of understanding of the project goals definitely lead to smoother collaboration and timely project completion as such. And not only that, because of that trait, whatever, if you realize that you're just good enough in that and refine yourself in that particular thing, as a result of your effective communication and successful project management and effectively guiding your team members, as a matter of fact, and you can gain recognition from your superiors. Do you know that? And ultimately receive a promotion or a career hike, or pay hike, or whatever you call it. So, friends, you try to understand here, self awareness is very crucial for emotional intelligence, for decision making, and for building up your confidence levels and, to perform better in team scenarios, as a matter of fact. So, do you have a need to cultivate self awareness? The answer is very definitely yes, please. So, a self aware employee is a better employee by himself or herself, because the power of understanding oneself leverages the strengths to create positive outcomes in the workplace. You are the best suited person in a given setting, and where sometimes going wrong, sometimes going right. Let us try to evaluate why this is happening. This is done through self awareness, as a matter of fact. So we have answered what is self awareness, why is self awareness important. The next question would be, okay, sometimes you may not be understanding clearly the process of self awareness. How to increase self awareness? See, there are definite tools, in your hands to rate yourself continuously, to evaluate yourself continuously, to reflect on yourself continuously. Let us examine how to increase self awareness. Self awareness can be cultivated through some intentional practices. Minded, you should have an intention to self analysis. If you don't have any intention to go for self analysis, better not to attempt, because your honesty fails there. Don't go with very fragile analysis. Inflated egos and all that must be thrown out. You have, if you have an intention, yes, There's a chance for you to evaluate yourself. And that's why I said intentional practices that encourage reflection and a deeper understanding of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. After all, you need to scan yourself honestly. Who else will come to your rescue? Please try to understand your strengths, limitations, weaknesses, opportunities, whatever. Here are several strategies. Let's examine. Number one is mindfulness practices. What is this? Mindfulness is a practice of focusing on present moment without any judgment. If this happens, that should happen. So if I behave like this happened. No, please do not understand. Do not go with some sort of judgments, bias, this thing and all. Just, just examine the present moment. That's all. Be mindful of what you have been doing and what are the impacts and what are the outcomes. It helps individuals because aware of their thoughts and emotions as they occur. Oh, okay. See, when I am talking to him, I did this, I did that. So this is the scenario you need to jot down, and this kind of a homework will help you to evaluate further. So this a non-reactive awareness as such. Don't judge. Don't judge. Just take down. That's called mindfulness, as a matter of fact. So judging again, getting into bias as such. So be mindful of what you're involved in, just like that. So by observing your thoughts and feelings without any attachment, criticism, or judgment, mindfulness enables people to recognize patterns. Why this is happening like this? Why that is happening like this? And no, you can even examine your emotional stressors and your mental states also at the given point of time. And this kind of awareness leads to more thoughtful and intentional responses in daily life. You can be a fine tuned individuality later if you can judge yourself there in a given setting. Don't not evaluate yourself, not judging this way, that way. Say, for example, some example I would like to discuss with you. A busy executive incorporates mindfulness meditation in their daily routine, practicing for just 10 minutes each morning, because you need to fine tune your thought process, and you want to convince yourself that I must be in a peaceful scenario and all that. So over time they notice a significant reduction in stress levels and improved clarity when making decisions under pressure. These are the proven tools. Mindfulness meditation. But then mindfulness again means here you need to focus on the present moment without any judgment, and analyze yourself. So the ability to stay present helps the executive or a person remain calm and focused, even in high stakes of situations, pressure related situations and all that. Journaling or generalizing or whatever it is. So this is another tip that we need to answer, because professionals always think in terms of writing down, jotting down things when something happens, peculiar things happening in a scenario, or even everyday events which are said to be significant in your lifetime, and the significant life events happening in that you can write down. This is called journaling, involves regularly writing down thoughts, feelings, and experiences. It's a very powerful tool for self reflection, allowing individuals to track their emotions, behaviors, and reactions over time. You may forget tomorrow what happens yesterday, so jot down things. And by documenting these kind of experiences of your own, you can identify patterns in your thinking and behavior. And this journaling provides a space to explore your thought process, emotions, discover underlying motivations or conflicts, and how can you, fine tune yourself. The answers will be made known to you. For example, a college student start journaling about their group project experiences. Through writing, they realize that They often avoid conflict, fearing it, because the conflict will disrupt the group harmony. So they are avoiding conflict. So this self-awareness helps the student understand their behavior and empowers them to address disagreements. Because what happens is, okay, I am not able to handle disagreements. So let me attempt to answer disagreements, because in a project related environment and all, coordination, cooperation is very much necessary, and there will be some kind of agree to disagree scenarios will be there. So disagreements, conflicts, etc. may arise. So how to handle disagreements constructively in future collaborations? So you mean that the past experiences get recorded. That's what we call journaling. That helps you to understand how any crisis situation, I mean to say any threats or what you call challenges that you face can be very easily answered. Again, third one would be getting feedback, soliciting feedback. This is something very interesting. Most of us do not solicit feedback. Straight feedbacks may not be given. You need to understand the body language of others also, based on your on the performance of yours. When you are conversing with, you can understand the body language. People may not say yes, yeah, your performance is good here, or you have done great things now, and all these kind of positive feedbacks may be coming up. No, we don't know. And there may be negative feedback also. Negative feedbacks are not openly be given to anybody, but then you should have a mechanism to have a feedback from others. Seeking a feedback, I mean to say soliciting the feedback from trusted peers at least, not by from all. You maintain your trusted people in and around you, and they would be answering many questions you pose on your performance. So seeking feedback from a trusted peers and mentors, or coaches for example, or gurus for example, offer valuable external perspectives on your behavior. Would you mind doing this, soliciting the feedback? The answer is yes. So often others can see aspects of your behavior that we might be blind to. We don't know that we are behaving like this. Am I behaving like this? No, 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 no. You may think like that. But the answer is otherwise. And you come to know of it only when you solicit the feedback. Then you can answer your stance, alter your things. That's why constructive feedback helps you. Of course, you can pay a deaf ear to unnecessary criticism, but constructive feedback, yes. Constructive feedback is obtainable only from your peers, from your trusted friends, from your mentors, from your coaches. This is very important. So this is the if you are for personal development, growth, please do consider soliciting feedback. Example: a team leader asks for feedback from their team members about their leadership style, his leadership style. The feedback reveals that while the leader is supportive, there's a need for clear communication about the project goals, meaning that your communication skill is not okay. That's the thing. Of course, you're very supportive, cooperative, but you're not clear on your statements. So, with this knowledge, the leader improves their communicability, communication ability, whatever, leading for a better team management and efficiency. You can get this only through the feedback. You can't have the opportunity to correct yourself unless you solicit the feedback. The fourth one would be self reflection questions. Of course, all look like similar things, but these are all the finer tools that we can think of. What is this final reflection questionnaire? I mean, questions or whatever. Because these are, you need to frame a meaningful questions that encourage introspection and exploration. Some of the reflective questions here, because they definitely increase the self awareness. Let's see. First question: what are my core values? Identifying your fundamental beliefs that provide insight into your what drives your decisions, how you're behaving, what type of decisions that you take generally in wonder what circumstances. How do my actions align with my values? You say something and you do something else. Understanding this alignment helps you to make more authentic choices in the process of your behavior. And what emotions do I frequently experience? Am I rational or am I emotional? If I'm emotional, and why it is like that? What is making me emotional? Exploring your emotional triggers offer clarity on how to manage them. So these are some self-reflection questions in relation to your area of operation that can help you to understand how better you are. For example, an employee reflects on his own interactions with the colleagues each day, identifying moments when he or she felt frustrated, and he realizes that certain situations led to this. These kind of things must be properly examined. Seek clarity before reaching to an argument. Sorry, agreement or sorry conclusion. Seek a clarity of it. Is it so? So this kind of self-reflection questions and getting the feedback, I think, will definitely help you to understand yourself, and increasing self-awareness is very much required minded. The fourth strategy would be there are lots of tools and questionnaires that can help you to understand your scores. Of course, in the next coming sessions, what we have here for MBA students, I'm saying that we have a lot of tests to be taken in for administration, and we can understand. For example, Johari window test is there, and personality dimension examination test is there, and emotional intelligence assessment questions are there. We shall discuss all those things when we take up a detailed discussion. These questions. They are structured questionnaires tested for validity and reliability. So with these, if you administer yourself on these, tests on yourself, then you can be in a position to understand where you stand for. And each instrument or a tool or a questionnaire is positioned towards examination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dimensions of yourself. So, for example, it's a Johari window. For example, Joseph Left and Harry Ingham have designed a questionnaire, and which help you to understand. It's a psychological tool developed to help individuals to understand themselves better through self-disclosure and feedback. There are two dimensions they discuss. You have to disclose yourself. Don't hide. Most of us do hide ourselves. That means you're not so open for discussions, behaviors, and all. As long as you're hiding yourself, then it's not proper. The subordinates or the team members may not be in a position to understand you, because you're always not interested to self disclose. And same is the case. That means here this is disclosure, self disclosure it is called. Meaning, you should have to bring in your likes and dislikes and discuss, this is me, this is me. If you hide yourself as a subordinate or as a team member, I cannot understand what type of a person you are and how do you react to my own way of handling things. At the same time, you need to solicit feedback from others. Giving feedback and soliciting feedback are said to be very, very important. On these two planes, we would be evaluating your personality. You may be open area, it can be a blind spot, it can be a hidden area, it can be an unknown area. Complete. You should not be blind enough. You should belong to an open area where you are known both by self and others. Mind it. You are known means you should be in a position to self disclose others to others. At the same time, you should get the feedback how you are in the eyes of others. First, you present yourself fully honestly before others so that they can understand you, who you are, what are your motivation, and all that. At the same time, get the feedback from others. Don't be under the iron curtain and assume yourself that you're good, this, that, and all. Let them tell you. Let them tell you. So if you're good enough in both these areas, like disclosing yourself fully and get them in how you behave and all that, self disclosure, at the same time soliciting feedback, then it is your open area. In this window, it's called Johari window. In this window, you should have an open area more. The blind spot means known by others, but not by self. Others know you, what type of person you are, but you yourself do not know because you're not good enough in soliciting feedback honestly. Then you behave very blindly. Hidden area is known by self, but not by others. See the combinations. Of course, when we take it for detailed discussion, it will be understandable in a way. Unknown area is such a area where you are totally undiscovered. So the tools that we have, of course, reliability, validity, reliability tested, we try to administer it. And after administration and processing, it can be understandable instead of theoretical discussion on that. So I conveniently postpone the discussion of these tests in detail when you administer these tests in the next coming sessions as such. So then next are your personality type of assessments, because there are lots of tests on personality tests, like say MBTI is there, Myers and Briggs type indicator is there, and Big Five personality test is there. All these tests help us to understand what type of a person you are. What type of a person you are. There are different types of personality types, and based on the preferences of your perception and judgment. And there are I think when you go in for detailed discussion with these tests after administration, you will be in a position to understand it better, because there are major dimensions of personality we need to understand ourselves. And sometimes this kind of understanding will help us to revise our judgments on self and all that. So all these things are understandably good instruments which can help us to understand self. We come back to that a little later. Then, of course, I was talking to you is emotional intelligence questionnaire is another reliable test here, where which can help you to understand your self awareness. As a matter of fact. So these are the things that we postpone for detailed discussion. Next aspect is why all this discussion here, and what are the practical applications of this self-awareness. As a matter of fact, so self-awareness play a very critical role in both personal and professional endeavors. You have recognizes one's actions and techniques, tendencies, I mean to say tendencies and behavior modes or whatever, and their impact on others need be understood very clearly. And then only you can have a meaningful improvements in relationships, and the performance will improve, and you can help the congenial overall environment. Yes. So the let us examine a real-time example here. A high school teacher receives a feedback from students who mention feeling overlooked during classroom discussions. What is the feedback the teacher is getting? The teacher is overlooking the students in the learning environment. When you overlook the students, could not take them in classroom discussions and all, what type of students are being overlooked? Quiet students, those who sit calm, quiet, and listen. And always his attention is on a few group of students, but ignoring this group. So the teacher was previously unaware of this behavior. No, the teacher is not clearly understanding the scenarios why these things happen, as they tend to focus on more vocal students during lesson giving. So more vocal, that means students who always speak, only the students to whom the teacher is responding. But the students who are sitting quiet and listening well, they're not in the looks of the teacher as such. So the teacher, in order to fine tune himself or herself in the process of lecturing or teaching the things, and you should understand the participation modes of a lot of students to whom you are teaching and all. This feedback helps. So if you consider self-awareness in action, yes, through feedback, teacher becomes aware of this unconscious bias. Sorry, I'm biased and all that. I am only looking at the students who are louder and talking and all that, and I assume that they are more active participants. So this awareness leads the teacher to reflect on his approach, and realize quieter students may feel disengaged and the classroom dynamics get disturbed. So I should get the feedback and I should be self-aware of the things and all that. So what is the solution then? After this kind of feedback coming in, the teacher implements new strategies to ensure equal participation from all the students, giving chance for all the students to participate in discussions. These strategies will be small group discussions to engage more comfortable and participation mechanism, non-threatening mechanisms from the quieter students as such. This same thing happens in an organization when you're going to have a self-analysis of your own, how your people behave with you and why this kind of a behavior. Are you a better positioning yourself before others? All these things are through self-awareness only. So this kind of individual check-ins to personally engage with each student and understand their learning needs is a very important objective of a teacher. Same is the case with a manager or a leader as such. So you need to do whatever you feel like to go for self-reflection of yourself only when you get the feedback from others. So that's what we call, in essence, self-awareness as such. So what are the learnings from this? Self-awareness aids personal growth, definitely, because you want to develop yourself in the career path progression. Yes, it is. So this recognition of prompts actions that lead to a positive change. For if you want a positive change, please be aware of what's happening to yourself. Clear cut understanding of yourself. And team dynamics next comes next. If you are sure to understand yourself, you know pretty well that how you can position yourself in team dynamic scenario and how can you influence others. And this kind of ability to mingle freely with the team members and all that becomes a very significant aspect in self-awareness. So self-aware leaders create inclusive and supportive atmosphere, and it can lead the organization for better results, as a matter of fact. So in conclusion, what we can say is that self-awareness contributes to better decision making, improved collaboration, team dynamics, whatever, and more positive work culture. Mind it, that's very, very essential. And there are very well defined tools in the next coming sessions, my dear friends. We'll be taking into consideration some of the important aspects of this self awareness. As I've already told you, the learnings can be summed up here for personal growth, effective communication, and the personal and professional contexts. You should have to have self-awareness, and regular practice of self-awareness strategies are very, very important. Reflect on yourself, mindfulness, journaling, and getting into different types of well-structured reliability, validity tested questionnaires, and personal experiences, noting down personal experiences, exploring on your personal experiences on plus and minuses, and challenge yourself to start your self-awareness journey. Now, why waiting? Start your journey now and try to be conscious about this. And feedbacks will be either positive or negative, does not matter much for us. You should be honest yourself in analyzing yourself minded. Honesty is the first fundamental. You should be brutally honest. When I conclude this with a high powerful statement that you should be brutally honest in order to assess yourself. After all, you're assessing yourself. You can keep your scores close to your chest, but it should reflect on your behavior patterns further. So thank you very much for your very patient listening. In the next coming session, we'll be discussing in detail with the help of the questionnaires. Thank you very much for all the friends who are on live stream on YouTube. Thank you very much. This is Dr. D. Viramanamurthy, PhD in Management. Thank you. Upendra, you,
I thank you.
yours.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Okay.
Yeah. I'm
Sir,
sorry, I just brought,
okay.
see, who is that on?
So she is our
Rangam?
student, sir. Yeah.
Sorry, I brought you to the stage just now, the concluding session, concluding part.
Okay. There are some comments. I think is the comments. You can see the comments section there, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. That's about
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
comments or Venkatesh
Sir,
and
we designated
Kumar.
Rangama
Kumar
as
sir,
the.
good afternoon.
Oh, okay, sir. You
I'm
can
ending
stop
the
live
stream.
stream.
I'm ending the stream.
Okay.